In the previous lecture, we have been talking about how to install Python as a programming language. You can search for command prompt, this is the command line, and we can check that if we type Python and you have Python installed, then as you can see, Python with actual version 3.11.1. So this is exactly what we have installed in the previous lecture. By the way, if you do not have Python installed on your machine, don't worry, because in this lecture we are going to download PyCharm as an integrated development environment for Python, and it can install Python under the hood in an extremely convenient manner. Okay, so if we search for PyCharm download, this is exactly what we are looking for. JetBrains created PyCharm as the integrated development environment, and you can download the professional version, and of course you can download the free version. So this is exactly what we are looking for, the community version. So let's click on download. Okay, so as you can see, we have to wait for 1 to 2 minutes to download PyCharm itself. So let's wait for it. Okay, after that we can double click the executable file. Okay, so this is the guide. As you can see, we have to click on next. We have to define the destination folder. This is going to be just fine. What's crucial that we can update the path variable. Sometimes it can prove to be quite useful. And of course, we can create a desktop shortcut for the PyCharm integrated development environment. So let's click on next. Okay, and finally we have to click on install. Okay, so let's wait for it to be installed. By the way, it may take up to 5 minutes to install PyCharm, so let's be patient. So after a few minutes, it seems that it has been installed successfully. Of course, you can reboot your system. I am going to reboot manually later, so let's click on finish. And then we can search for PyCharm. As you can see, this is the latest version of PyCharm. Of course, we have to confirm that we have read and accept the terms. So let's click on continue. And this is how we can install PyCharm. By the way, if you haven't installed Python, then there's going to be a pop-up window, and PyCharm can help you to install Python. It is going to handle the path and the environment, variables, and so on. So it is quite convenient. Of course, because in the previous lecture, we have already installed Python, it is going to be just fine. So let's click on new project. Here we have to define the location. I guess it is going to be just fine. As you can see, the base interpreter is essentially Python we have installed in the previous lecture, Python 3.11. So this is going to be just fine. Let's click on create. I think that PyCharm is going to create a main file with the samples. As you can see, we have the main function, which is the entry point of a Python application, and we call the print hi function that's going to print out hi and the name, which is PyCharm in this case. So if we run the application, then of course we end up with hi PyCharm, which means that it is working fine. We have managed to install Python as a programming language, and we have managed to install PyCharm as an integrated development environment. Thanks for watching.